Yeah.
So welcome everybody to the March 25th Ortelius outreach meeting. Tracy, it's over to you.
Okay. There is not a whole lot that we need to do. We should start talking about, well, first of all, if you want to get a blog in during our blogathon, we have this week, blogathon closes on Friday, I guess you'd say, or Monday. So if you want to get a blog in for this, please do submit that. And then we really just have to focus
so far.
just two. We only got two this year, which usually we'd got 10 or 12, not all great ones.
Steve's allowed for an award then.
Yeah, Raj is working on his. We'll see if he drops in here later, but I know he's reached out to me and I'm helping him with his blog. So we'll have at least one more.
I will drop two by Friday.
And I'm going to write one too. So I think we'll get.
So that's Raj, Elizabeth, Sasha. You still good for yours?
Yeah.
So we got four more in the pipeline.
I will write it also.
Okay, so we could get.
All right,
we could get
on
6
everybody.
more. Yeah, all of us need to write it.
4
It
days
doesn't have to be
counting.
long. 500 words at the most.
That's
really.
when I write the best.
I know, me too.
I'm also like picking up some old issues from the Ortelius.
Cool.
And just if you put it in Markdown, I can get it up sometime next week, even if you get it to me on Monday.
That's good.
They would submit blogs, adding another or
On
Just a
that
question.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, Sasha.
So, I'm just asking this on an international level. Do you guys celebrate Easter? Like, do you have a long weekend coming up? Because we have a long weekend coming up: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
We really don't.
Yeah, actually.
We don't have the day off.
Oh, you don't have the day off?
No, we don't get Friday off.
I'll have to write to President Biden.
And while you're at it, would you ask him to go ahead and make an executive order to get rid of daylight savings time?
Yeah, sure. I'll add that as a PS. Tracy asks if you can please get rid of daylight savings.
It's horrible.
Yeah, that got stuck in committee and never made it out. So
we're still changing times.
We're still suffering with that.
Okay. I'm gonna have to step away for a little bit. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
No worries.
Cool.
So we have today is, let me look, is our last. I think that the OPA vote close, or not the OPA vote, what am I talking about? Sessionize closes today. Let me pull it up really quick. So we need to come up with a date to, let me see, organizer. Yep, today is the last day to submit for sessions. So what we should do is we should come up with a day maybe on Monday. I will download, I think I can download the sessions and pull them into an Excel spreadsheet and send them, and then we can go through them next on Monday, a week from today. We do have the Secure Chain Con meeting on Monday, I think, the 1st. Yep, it's at this time. So that's what my recommendation would be, is that we use next week to go over those sessions and make sure that we have everything that we need and see if we can pull together a panel discussion. Today was the last day to submit for a CFP to Secure Chain Con. Next Monday will be used to identify talks from the CFPs. I will send out an email and remind everybody that today's the last day, and next Monday, if they'd like to be involved in the selection process, they can do so. And then
And
from
I'm
there,
assuming when you download that, you're going to read out the test ones that we're seeing.
I will. Yeah, I will. Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and show everybody what it was so they can see what it looked like, but I suppose I could weed out once I do that.
In the sessionized, in the speaker section, there is a tax written that up to 3 hotel nights covered. In the
And you're
speaker
looking in
section.
sessionize?
Yes. Should I share the link?
Okay.
Yeah, this one. In the call for section, right side, the last text before the submitter session.
Right. And did I not do, oh, I need to include that? Is that what you're saying?
No, we have to delete that. But it's fine because it's last day.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll close it today, and next week we'll work on pulling out the ones that we want to use. Because we don't need that many, so I'm hoping that everybody who did submit will get some love. And we might just pull some names out to from that for the panelist. I think it would be great to have a panel discussion, and I know Simon's been working on it, so I'll reach out to Simon as well and let him know or remind him that we're supposed to be pulling together a panel talk. So those are the things that are up on our list. We just have to get really focused on, we have 2 months to pull it together, which should be fine. Steve's got to do some technical work. If anybody wants to help Steve on that, let him know. And that has to do with how we're going to set up the best way to set up StreamYard and YouTube and Twitch. And I think that he has an idea, but I think he's going to have to do some testing. So it would be good to have some other folks on there to help him with the testing.
I'm volunteering to help you, Steve.
All right, I'll ping you when I get, and we'll figure out a time slot. I'll throw it out on Discord.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just ping me.
It won't take long. It'll be like a 15-minute thing, so.
I'm not worried. It's gonna be interesting because I also really don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let me know when you do that, so I will check from the user side.
Yep, exactly.
The hardest part for me is managing the outputs for the audio.
Well, I think that's going to be part of it, is separating it where we'll basically run the Zoom off of your machine, and we'll do the broadcasting from my machine. And I think that'll help separate it so we don't have that weird loop thing and all the getting the audio devices correct and stuff like that. That was always a headache when we had trying to do a Zoom broadcast and everything all on the same machine.
Yeah, probably overloads it, right?
Well, you have to use OBS Studio.
And then you have to use a virtual capture device. So you take.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah,
it's complicated.
It's weird because the output of your system speaker is the input to the StreamYard broadcast. So.
Oh, jeez.
So you have to catch what would normally go out to the speaker or your headphones, and that has to be part of the broadcast.
I can recommend a tool for you if you get stuck. I use it on my Mac. I split up my audio between any apps I want. I forgot to tell you that. Hold on.
Well, that may be, because I found it, well, I don't have a Mac, but I found OBS to be really hard to use.
Well, that's the one I have is Caster. Is that the one you use, Sasha?
No, I'm using one called Sound Control.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. I think it's similar. I don't know what Caster is. I'll have to go look at it too.
Yeah, Caster is the one that I've played with a little bit.
I bought it for my DJing so that I can split audio up if I want to. On my Mac, because Mac was a real pain in the butt to get working with sound.
Yeah.
Like those virtual things. You know.
So yeah, if we can, so I think it'll be good to do a day of testing the platform, just making sure it's working.
Cool, no problem. I'll be
Okay.
Steve.
Schedule
I'll
a
stick a
day.
screenshot of what sound control looks like in the channel.
It may be the same thing.
Yeah, I'll go look at Caster now too.
All right, so I'm putting Sasha and Arvin down to help on that. But Steve, when you send out schedule the time, just schedule it with Ortelius so anybody can show up.
Yeah.
All right.
Caster, is it Caster, just like that? Oh, there, I see you've put the link.
I put the link in the.
You did? Hey, Tony, are you back? You're back. Could you put the link to that article in the chat, and I'll make sure I'll list it?
I will. It's in Discord, but I have to now find it in Discord, of course.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out and put it in the chat. I've got another place to look for it.
Okay. And then something else was put in the chat. Arvin put this in the chat.
Tony, was that the one from the IEEE.org?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, I got it.
I will make sure and have Ortelius network that through Hootsuite as well.
Yeah, there are a couple of embedded links in it too that are actually pretty interesting. And as I said, it makes a pretty good argument without saying, by the way, you should have something like Ortelius. At the end, it's pretty obvious you should have something like Ortelius. Well, I mean, unless you're like Arvind, who probably actually knows every single package in all his code. All 1,500 in the hello world.
Oh. This open source community has a very good sense of humor.
Well, I think those kind of articles, part of what outreach we're supposed to be doing in this, our outreach is to educate. And when we find articles like that, it's good to spread the word, spread the gospel, so to speak, because this is a very, until Log4j happened, people didn't really care.
Yeah.
And then after Log4j, people started thinking about all the stuff that they're consuming and that they don't understand what they're consuming. And that's when the open SSF got started. And they just focus on open source software, right? I've been doing a lot of research in terms of, where information is really, how this kind of data is managed outside of what we do with Ortelius. And it's interesting because what I'm learning is that there is a big division between, it's almost like you could look at the world in two sections: open source and libraries and packages that we consume and we don't know about it, and then all the internally developed code. And we're doing a lot of work on the supply chain side. I guess it's the best way to describe it. We go to a warehouse called Git and we pull things from Git and include it in our internally developed code. What we don't do a good job of is, as a community or as a IT community as a whole, is we're not doing that great a job of managing the right-hand side. Where are these things connected? Sure, somebody pulled it in, but now a reusable module was created with that open source code, and now it has its own dependency tree within the organization. And it's an area that I feel that we should talk about more. And that's probably what I'm going to write my blog on, how it's important to manage the consumption of open source, but it's also important to know where it's how it's being used within your organization. Because I feel like when we get to real threat modeling, it's going to be answering the question of how it's used is probably going to be more important than the question what is used.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because if you look at when you talk about threat modeling, is it an internal application or is it a publicly exposed application? And that totally changes your risk level.
Right. So am I exposing somebody's data?
Yeah.
Right? Am I impacting something that's going to, like Log4Shell? I'm going to allow somebody to run this and get at somebody's root, right? And be at the system level just by a back door.
So I don't know if you heard, but United Healthcare insurance company had a breach last week in one of their, I don't know if it was a subcontracting company or one of the companies that they own on the reporting side. So that company got hacked. So there's a cyber attack for the billing and basically posting and billing system. So, and I don't know how that happened, if it was open source or if it was just like a network breach some way. But it's happening again, put it that way.
I did not see that. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah,
Well, that
it's
article looks
taken
good, Tony.
down,
It took down the whole billing system for, it was like $2 billion worth of money that couldn't move for like a week.
Really?
What?
the latest
Hectic.
statement on their website. United Healthcare has had to advance $2.5 billion. So it's even changed since the last time you looked at it, Steve, I would guess.
Yeah.
And you think about the borrowing cost in the spot market for that kind of money.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And
And what was-
supposedly, a $22 million ransom payment has been turned up by one of the cyber firms. It's
$22 million.
And what happened was, because it was on the billing side, the small doctors in rural areas weren't getting paid because the billing got all messed up. That's why they had to go find the $2.2 billion and figure out how to get that out to all their doctors and the small clinics.
And that was United Health.
United Healthcare, where we used to have our insurance. So I'm sure
Yes.
Is that medical insurance in America?
Yeah.
it's a medical insurance company. They're really big.
Yo, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean,
you get the same thing in places like Britain where it's the National Health Service, though.
no, we don't have that. You gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta
The way
pay a
it
lot.
works in America is you pay.
Yeah, you
but-
pay here too.
Yeah, a lot. When I went and had lunch with Tony, I don't know, maybe just past fall, and I was complaining about insurance. And I came home and Tony said, there's probably a lot cheaper insurance that you can find on the exchange. I mentioned it to Steve and he started looking, and sure enough, Tony saved us some money. But you have to shop. You have to be on top of it all the time.
You
Yep.
do.
That's
It's terrible. They just put it up on you all the time. Yeah, same here.
Glad I was able to help.
Oh, thank you so much for encouraging me to think about that. It's like,
Hey,
Oh,
is
even
that
the-
what you wanted done
sorry.
here? Because I suspect many of us have a meeting coming at the top of the hour.
I think that was all I had on my list.
that's it. Yeah. And Tony, thank you for, like I say, if we think about outreach as partly being DevRel, these kinds of articles are important because we should be, if the more information that we can broadcast out to our community, the better off everybody is. So if you if you find these articles, bring them here so we can share them, and I'll be sure and put them on the Hootsuite schedule so that we can get them out as part of our DevRel activities and get your blogs in.
Right,
Pressure's
the
on
blogs.
everybody.
Yes.
I'm gonna put a countdown timer on the webpage or on the Discord, and
Well, we could
What,
put
like
a
a stick
Twitch
of dynamite.
Yep.
We do need to actually on the Twitch channel. I do need to update the Twitch channel with a timer so people know that Secure Chain Con's in 60
If you
days.
don't hand your blog in, the UFO gets blown up, and it'll be your fault.
Well, no, it'll be the other way. The Earth gets blown up by the UFO.
Yeah. That's better. That's much better. These are those questions help quickly. Did they help at all to give you some ideas?
It gave me some ideas. I gotta. So Sasha sent a list of questions of the soft information or the information that we can't derive, put it that way, and suggested that we collect that information via email. I think that list is very tailored to that.
Yeah, it is.
That situation, but it gives me an idea of what kind of how to frame our questions. I have to think about what questions we need to ask, and I'll go back to that document from last week, that table that we're working on, and kind of frame that up.
Okay, cool.
I think that table that you guys are working on is what I'm going to present at CDCon.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I was kicking around on that real quick was because the answers could be pretty freeform. You know, if we do an email and not try to do like a form or something like that, because people just, you know, forms get so formal and stuff that we could actually just use some ML or AI to extract the answers out of the email form. That should be pretty easy to do.
Cool.
And I have one last. I won't worry about it now. I'll bring it up later. That's. I'll bring it up on Discord. That's all I had.
Okay,
Anybody
everybody.
else?
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Get to writing.
Bye.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.